He gets Justin Herbert. He gets this Chargers roster, which is significant. And Brandon Staley is now joining us live. Well, we're talking about, first of all, congratulations, Brandon. Good for you. Congrats.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you for having me.
You bet. So let's talk. As a former Rams coordinator, just a couple weeks ago, you're facing Aaron Rodgers and you're facing Aaron Jones. And one of the things that kind of jumped out to me, they're so multiple. There's so much motion now with Matt LaFleur. So if I'm Todd Bowles in Tampa this weekend, you pick your poison. What do the Packers do as a defensive guy that is just really difficult to defend?
Yeah, they're really balanced, Colin. I think that they have a really, really good offensive line, and their tight ends really serve as extra elements of that. Mercedes Lewis, Robert Tonyan, those guys are really good players. And when they play three wide receivers, Allen Lazard, he's almost like another tight end. And then they've got three runners that really come at you. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, A.J. Dillon. You always have somebody fresh in the game. And I think that really helps out Aaron, not that he needs a lot. And when you're operating at the level Aaron's operating at right now, there's very few that can reach that level. But when they're running the ball like that, it just makes Aaron more difficult to defend. And we all know about Devontae Adams, one of the elite players in the league. And I think what Aaron's done is he's elevated all those other receivers. He's found a comfort zone with them. Scanlon can take the top off. Lazard is somebody he trusts, and then Devontae's as good as it gets. So, but it starts and ends with Aaron. And when he's playing like he is now, makes it difficult.
So when you faced him with the Rams, it was tough because Aaron Donald was not at 100%. In the first game where Green Bay struggled with Tampa, Brandon, they got pressure on Aaron, and sometimes not blitzing, sometimes they did. Was it your belief when facing Aaron that you bring extra people, or did that give you discomfort that then you have a hole in the back end? Would you blitz against Aaron? How much confidence did you feel doing that?
I think this guy's got the quickest trigger in the game. And I think especially on early downs, Colin, I don't know if that's a winning solution because the ball comes out so quickly. So I think that when when pressure can get to Aaron is more on third down, or if you have the lead and they're having to drop back to come back, I think that's when, that's a better solution. Because on first and second down, this ball is out quickly, whether it's in the RPO game, whether he's an empty, that's one of the things that makes him so difficult is that he's difficult to pressure on early downs. And as you're aware of, he takes care of the football as well or better than anyone in the history of the game.
Yeah, you get all the upside. We were talking about the late Hank Aaron. You got the home runs without the strikeouts. With Aaron, you get the great plays. You don't get the turnovers. So those are once-in-a-generation players. Now, Kansas City's favored over Buffalo. I watched, when you were coordinator of the Rams this year, I watched the Rams-Buffalo game. They came out, jumped on you. You made adjustments. And, Brandon, your defense had a very good second half. So Josh Allen, when you face him, huge arm, also moves. What issues, what did you do in the halftime to make the corrections? Because you shut the Bills down in the second half.
Yeah, it took us a little bit in that rhythm to get into a rhythm early in that game. And then after halftime, Colin, I think what we did a lot better job of is we knocked the run game out. And, as you know, he's so special throwing it. And it sounds, counterintuitive, but if you don't knock the run game out against players like Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers and you give them a two-way go, then you got no chance. You have no chance to be successful. So we were able to knock some of that run game out. And then, then some of our pass rush and our pressure stuff, we're able to get to him. And then we turned him over in that second half twice. And that really tilted the momentum of the game. And, we gave ourselves a chance to win in the fourth quarter.
Not only a chance to win, you get kind of a bad call. You should have won that football game. We don't need to.
That was a great game. And I really felt like, because I've 3 out of the 4 guys still playing. We've played those guys. And, Josh, just so much respect for him. But, we felt like we had a good enough team to go a long way.
So you did have some success against Tom Brady. Brandon Staley joining us, the new Charger coach. Tom is not their run game's been a little hit and miss. Ronald Jones is very explosive. Tom's not going to move in the pocket. But Tom challenged you as a defensive coordinator with the Rams because he can do so much pre-snap. He's a wizard back there. So what will Green Bay's defense face that really is frustrating when you face Brady?
I think the command pre and post snap, there's just not a look that you're going to give him that he hasn't seen. And I think, we caught Tom, I think, at a good time. It was at the, that midpoint of the year where I don't think he had really settled into a rhythm with that offense. And I think what you saw over the last 5 games and then moving into the playoffs is, he's found that comfort zone. He's found that rhythm and that timing with his skill players. And as you're aware, that skill group is as good as there is, that we certainly faced during the season. It's deep, runner, receiver, tight end. And I think that, what makes Tom so difficult is that he sees the field as well as anybody in pro football. And he's as an accurate of thrower inside the numbers as anybody that's ever played. And, and then he's such a clutch player. And, that's why this game is going to be really fun to watch this weekend.
So you take the Chargers job. I will be the first to admit, I thought it surprised me. I thought you were going to be a viable candidate. People spoke well of you. And so congratulations. You're a former college quarterback at Dayton. By the way, the Flyers, very good school, by the way. In fact, is Dayton a private school? Is it?
Yeah, Marianist School, Catholic.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. It's very good. I know this. I got a lot of kids, Brandon. They're going to colleges. They wanted to apply to Dayton. But when you took the Chargers job, even though you're a defensive coach, you had to, part of the attraction had to be Justin Herbert, who was shot out of a cannon last year, was tapped on the shoulder before the Mahomes game with the Chiefs. I would have been so nervous, walked in, went toe-to-toe. How much of it was, oh, my Lord, I can get Justin Herbert?
I think anybody that's interested in football, Colin, knows that the quarterback position is so vital to your success. And I think what was exciting for me, Colin, was being at the beginning of his football journey. I think that's equally as exciting to be with a young quarterback at the beginning of his career. And I think as a defensive coach, former quarterback, I think seeing the way he expressed himself this year, global pandemic, no offseason, no training camp, no preseason, for him to play the way he did this year. And I thought, something that I was so impressed about was just the way he played in 2 minutes. I think the special quarterbacks in the league play their best at the end, when you got to have it, when you're behind, or, it's that end of game, 2 minute situations when you got to have it. And I thought he just showed command, poise, precision, and, certainly to be, partnering up with him at the beginning of his career, that's so exciting.
Brandon, the good news, bad news. The good news is you actually got the best job available. And one of the reasons it's the best job available, you've got a really good roster. I think the offensive line needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Now, the bad news is you're not going to be given a ton of time here. The Chargers have a history of being patient, but this is a good football team. This football team can win now very quickly. Do you sense that pressure?
Colin, I think you just have to look at each circumstance as it has a life of its own. And I think there's high expectations for, the NFL, no matter what team that you play for or you compete with. And I think what the great competitors do, Colin, is they're not worried about anybody else. And I think that was certainly my mindset going into this opportunity is, my full focus is on the Chargers. And for us to get with these players, to start the relationships that are so important, and then get to the competition of working with these guys at their game, developing identities in all 3 phases of the game, bringing our building together, creating a clear vision, and then a process on how to get there. And I think, you talked about the players that we have, and that's what's so exciting. But the key to winning in the NFL is becoming a team. And that's where our focus is going to be. And I can't wait to get started with a lot of the players that you are fully aware of.
Yeah, it's a really, really good roster. His name is Brandon Staley. He was a very young coordinator. A lot of people say he's the McVay on the defensive side. We're crossing our fingers. Brandon, absolute pleasure. Good luck to you. Say hi to Tom Telesco, one of the sharp guys in the sport. Thanks, man.
Will do, Colin. Nice to meet you. Have a great day.
All right, you too, Brandon Staley. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.